Okay. Hopefully I'm right side up and not upside down now. But your core is not just your abs or your abdominal muscles. And it's a group of muscles. It's your abdominal muscles. It's the extensor muscles of the posterior of your body. It's especially your gluteal muscles, your hip flexor muscles. So there's many muscles that come together to make your core. And your core is crucial for maintaining the alignment of your spine. And all day, every day, as you're doing the things that you do on a regular basis, such as sitting, walking, reaching for things in an upper cabinet, perhaps incorrectly bending to lift something up off the ground, or reaching for, say you left the groceries on the passenger side floor of your car and you bend forward to get them. Your core muscles, when they're healthy and balanced and strong, are actually supporting and protecting your spine. So even if your ergonomics aren't perfect all the time, but I'm sure they are, your core is there to support and protect your lumbar spine. So without a healthy, strong core, which is all of those muscles that I mentioned, every little thing you do could potentially be misaligning your spine, creating stress and damaging the discs, and causing problems that you don't want to deal with. If I have to explain, and I'm sure I have, how important the health of your spine is to the health of the rest of your body, I can't overstate it, The fundamental well-being of your body is dependent upon your spinal health, right? So even if we're not feeling pain when we do these things, yeah, I reached this way and it didn't hurt. If we're not supporting and stabilizing and keeping our spine healthy, if we're allowing even a little bit of misalignment or excess wear and tear to accrue, that is taking a toll on your health in ways that you don't see and you don't feel until it's too late. So, core is really important. We're going to get a strong core tonight. We're going to understand how to build the strength of our core. But first, I want to clear up some misconceptions. A lot of people think that they think core, abs, and they think abs, six-pack, right? And there's been lots and lots of people spending lots of time and money on workouts and on devices that's going to get them those sexy toned six-pack abs. And there's just misconception there that I want to clear up. So abdominal exercise does not necessarily equate to six-pack abs or even a flat belly. Why is that? Well, believe it or not, there is a layer of fat that overlies the abdominal muscles, right? And how thin or thick that layer of fat is depends on a lot of things, right? And just doing lots and lots of crunches and lots of sit-ups and not removing that layer of fat that is hiding those abdominal muscles could actually just make the abdominals protrude a little bit more. You won't necessarily be able to see those muscles underneath. And my concern, and most important, I don't care how you look, it's about how healthy you are. So if we're doing this all the time, if anyone's been to the posture class, what is this position? Healthy or not? Definitely not. So this crunching and sit-ups may actually be causing more harm than good. So let's talk quickly about that layer of fat over the muscle. There's three things that are going to influence the thickness or thinness of that layer, and determine whether or not you'll ever have six-pack abs. Number one is diet. We have a misconception about exercise and diet, and it's important to understand that it would take an hour of walking plus to burn the calories in a donut. I don't want you exercising for calorie burn. You should be exercising for the benefits to your health, your longevity, your mood, your energy, your sleep, the improvement to your metabolism by adding muscle to your body. We can't crunch away our belly fat, so we just disregard that. Number two is genetics. We all have different body types. And as much as I would love it to be so, my thighs will never be as slender as Dr. Mark's. He could do all the squats that he ever wants, and you would have to put me on a deserted island for 8 months before it happened. You know, our body types are different. And it's really important that we let go. And if you listen to last week's class, we talked about should, and we shouldn't. When you should all over yourself, it just makes you feel bad. The difference between thinking our body should be a certain way and just being grateful that we have a body and that it is, and that we can use it. It's important that we work on letting go of how we think our body should be and understand that there is a way that it is. And I want you, and I want for myself, to be the best version, the healthiest version of you possible. The third thing is stress. It's a topic that we will hit over and over again, but having higher stress levels increases cortisol levels, and cortisol will actually predispose, even if you're not genetically disposed to it, but will predispose you to potentially storing more abdominal and visceral fat. So we need to look at getting more sleep. We need to look at being consistent with our adjustments. We need to look at the strategies for coping with stress that we talked about a few weeks ago in the Coping with Stress class. So now that we know that ab exercises do not equal a six-pack, and that your core is key to having a healthy, long life, what are we going to do about it? Well, we need to build the strength of our core, right? There's a few major mistakes that people make that I want you to avoid when we're addressing the strength of our core. And those mistakes are, they're very common, and they could really be dangerous in the long run. Mistake number one is starting a core strengthening program or adding abdominal or core exercises to your workout routine, but not having a healthy spine to begin with. So if there are subluxations or misalignments of the spine, and we go ahead and we start an exercise program, we start strengthening muscles that are supporting that spine, two things happen. One, it's actually predisposing you to injury. How many people have you ever known, maybe you're one of them, who started a workout program and then hurt themselves and had to fall off the wagon? So we don't want you to increase the damage to your body. We don't want to predispose you to an injury. So if you already have underlying subluxations or misalignments, even if they are not painful, and we start exercising on top of that, that could lead to injury. Number two is that even if it doesn't lead to injury, if you successfully strengthen the muscles that support the spine, if your spine's not in a healthy position, those muscles are actually just cementing in the misalignments, ultimately making it harder in the long run to correct them. So the first thing that we need to do is make sure that we are already working through the corrective process of any subluxations that we have acquired from a lifetime of using our spine and potentially the little traumas that we've experienced, the big traumas that we've experienced. So starting with a healthier spine. If you're in the early stages of your chiropractic care, you may have heard us say, it's not time yet. You need a few adjustments first before we begin strengthening the muscles. So ask us if you're concerned. Number two is starting this strengthening of the core before we're certain that we have flexible muscles. So what a lot of people don't realize is that a strong muscle, or to be maximally strong, a muscle has to be maximally flexible. Now again, just like there's differences in body types, there's differences in flexibility. So I'm not saying that everyone needs to be able to, touch their toes. You need to have the proper flexibility for your body, balanced flexibility. So say we have a muscle that's tight on one side or hips that are tight on one side, but not so much on the other, that's going to predispose us to misalignment, that the exercise is going to be done in a way that's not, ergonomically correct, not, or again, predispose you to injury and exacerbate the wear and tear, exacerbate the problem. So second mistake is starting with strengthening and not starting with flexibility. So there's key muscles, especially the hip joints, that need to be maximally flexible for you in order to have a strong core. So we're going to start with stretching, and then after about a week of daily stretching to make sure that those key muscles are flexible the way they should be and they're more balanced than they were, because when you start stretching, most likely you're going to notice that one side is tighter than the other. So after about a week of daily stretching, 2 minutes a day, really simple, then you will be able to start adding the strengthening component. And the last key mistake that some people make is by jumping right into the abdominal work and neglecting the other muscles and not starting with the deeper core muscles first. So we are going to, when we start strengthening, we're going to make sure that we address the glute muscles, the low back extensor muscles. We're going to get the deeper core muscles involved, and by starting with the pelvic tilt, which is a simple exercise that once you master, you could really do it anywhere and everywhere, and be continually improving your core strength all the time. So the pelvic tilt is simple. You would lie down on your back, and your lumbar spine, your lower back, you're going to want to flatten it so that it presses into the ground. And at the same time, suck in your belly button to pull in your waist as much as you can, and you'll feel, and you could do it right now, you don't have to lay on your back, you'll feel the abdominal muscles working. You should be able to breathe through it, and as you're breathing and those muscles are working, you want to hold that contraction, ideally 20-30 seconds, but start where you are. If you have to hold your breath, you're not doing it right, so try to make sure you can breathe through it. So the strengthening part of the core strength program that we teach starts with the pelvic tilt. Doing it on the floor is great because it helps you get that position of your lumbar spine, of your pelvis, and once you get the hang of it, then you could do it in the car, you could do it at your desk, anywhere, and engage those deeper core muscles, the ones that are closest to your spine and are going to be beneficial when we get to the next level of exercises. So for the program that we have, I will happily send you the list of stretches and the list of exercises. We have, if you put your name in the comments, we will send them to you, I believe through Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube and you'd like to get a copy of the exercises, they're really simple and it's clearly laid out for you. You just have to go to our website, oschiropractic.com. And then go down to the send or request an appointment. And when you request an appointment, you just put in the comments core. And we will email to you the document that we have that will show you the 3 simple stretches and then the basic exercises. So you'll start with stretching daily for a week, then add in some core strength minutes a day. And you could be improving the health of your spine, improving the results that you get from your chiropractic care, needing less chiropractic care in the long run, and being able to just transition to wellness care of your spine. So we encourage you to reach out and get those exercises. And we definitely encourage you, if you are not already a patient, to please get your spine checked for subluxations. Don't jump into a workout program before you really understand what you're starting with. You may have zero pain, and that's wonderful. Chances are you don't have damage that has to be undone, but we don't know. Pain only tells us a teeny bit of the story because only 10% of the nerve system is sensory. So it's wise to get checked, know your status before you jump into any exercise program. And if you are under care and you are having difficulty with any of these exercises, don't hesitate to reach out and contact us, and we can set up a more one-on-one way to answer those questions. But like I said, the exercises are pretty cleanly laid out, really easy to do, and take you minutes a day. But just like brushing in between visits to the dentist, when you do your part, you get much more out of your chiropractic care. Too many people are using adjustments as a band-aid for their pain and their symptoms rather than a way to boost their health and their vitality. And we don't want that for you. So with that being said, have a wonderful night. And next week we'll be talking about healthy bones and joints.